So what we have here is this rather poor condition W140 S500L. I'm going to get my first test drive of an M119 5-litre. This is the high output version with 11:1 compression ratio, and it is not LH Jetronic. It's the latest distributorless ignition version, and I think that's ME. Motronic or whatever they call it, and it does have the 722.6 5-speed auto, which came in around 1996, which is this car. So that transmission was never in the 124 because it's too old, unless you fit it yourself. So let's start this thing up now. Tim has finally reinstalled the transmission, and it did not grenade this time because he actually installed the torque converter correctly this time. So this will be my first test drive of an M119, as mentioned. So the old M119, it does pull pretty hard when you actually give it some stick, and it certainly would be an exciting engine in a much lighter car. Like, this thing is like driving the Titanic, but it still gets it moving nice and quickly. This is the closest I'll probably ever get to driving a 500e. However, this is a better combination because, as mentioned, it has a 722.6 transmission, 5-speed auto, versus that terrible old 4-speed. And yes, you can fit that to the older cars, but it's a lot of work, and you need a standalone controller as well. Something I have considered doing, because I don't really like the 722.3. While it's reliable, it is boring as hell. Once I can get this out onto the open road, I'll give it a bit more spirited acceleration. It is raining, so I can't really go too crazy. And of course, just like everything else on this car, the wipers are stuffed. Traction control. What a terrible day to be driving a V8. It's left up here or right? Right. Just going to give the old M119 a bit of exercise, 0 to 100 sprint, and we can hear it actually sound like a V8. The old W140 certainly makes it seem subdued. You can barely hear it, but you definitely know it's a V8. It's certainly a lot louder than the M113, I'll give it that much. So now I'm sitting in the back of the 140. This is an L, so it's got a little bit of extra legroom. Well, I should say a lot of extra legroom. That's quite ridiculous. Like, yeah, you could be quite comfortable sitting back here. Nothing good can come from me driving this car anymore. I have a feeling I'm going to destroy it. I did turn off the ASR switch and do a nice little single spinner on the wet road there. This does bring out the hooligan in me. And I think this poor old 140, it's not going to live if I drive it much longer, because I did get it bouncing off the rev limiter. And this transmission is flaring quite badly if you hammer it. So it's quite tired. Does need some love. Unfortunately, the whole car is basically a turd, otherwise it would have been fixed properly. It does need a conductor plate. It's done 200 and something thousand kilometers, so it is due. It has gone into limp home mode a couple of times with Tim, not with me today. And I think that's what that is, but the flaring is just going to be wear and tear. It does really need a transmission rebuild. I don't know, will it get it? It's not really worth it. This car really needs to go the tip as far as I'm concerned, but I don't know. Maybe Tim can make it look a bit more presentable and probably sell it to someone that might fix it up properly. I'd really love to put this engine into a 124, but Tim's not keen on that idea. He'd rather sell it as is. Might be able to get one more demonstration of the music made by the M119. Tim no doubt won't give it as much stick as I do, but anyway. Traction. Yeah, let's not get killed. Remember, it is raining. So I've no idea where Tim is taking me. I suspect he's taking me out to Wolf Creek to meet Mick and deal with me in a very personal manner because of doing a single spinner in his 140 with the rev limiter being bounced off. Mick is probably waiting out there with his tool set, wanting to do some justice on me. Unless Mick is really Tim. That's entirely possible. I wouldn't put it past him. Well, we made it back in one piece. So that concludes my first ever test drive of an M119 powered vehicle.